Welcome back, everybody, to the second episode of the Cinematate Podcast. My name is Tyler Miller, and I'm joined by my partner, Charlie Snarf.
How's it going, folks? We got a good episode for you guys today. Today's episode is going to be hot takes, but we're going to start off with recent movies we've seen and tell you guys our opinions on that. So I'll go ahead and let you start.
So we recorded a couple weeks ago, even though you know, we posted it finally for episode one. So we've watched a couple of movies recently. Starting off with the first movie that I watched after first episode of the podcast. I rewatched actually Knives Out, which is beyond amazing. Uh, Literally, those movies are so good. The plot twists are great. I can't wait for the third one. And there's pretty much nothing else I could say about Knives Out. And Glass Onion is just as good. Um, but I think that if you guys have seen it, you know what I'm talking about. Like the plot twist with a certain character is very done well. And I love these movies, especially when um, Benoit Blanc explains how the killer did it and why they did it, and it was just so good. And also, the cast is stacked. And then I watched The Visit for the first time because it was. I mean, I don't even know why. I wasn't like begging to watch it. I just kind of turned it on, and it was solid. It got really weird at the end, if you know what I'm talking about. But I thought I thought it was good. It was an M Night Shyamalan movie, and then basically it's about these kids that go see their grandparents that they've never met because the mom like ran out on them. Who's the mom played by Catherine Hahn, she's in a lot of great things. But yeah, it gets really weird at the end. I gave it a 3.5 out of 5. But other than that, it's it's a solid movie. It has the kid from Alexander and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day, and that was a childhood movie of mine. But other than that, it was solid. I wanted to watch some more M Night Shyamalan after watching Trap, and then right after that, on Thanksgiving Day, I watched Thanksgiving, which is one of the best horror movies to come out recently. It is so good. Some of the best kills. Actually, those kills remind me so much of Terrifier, but like they're less Terrifier, I guess. But if you guys have not seen Thanksgiving, I highly recommend it. It's it's like I Know What You Did Last Summer, but like more gorier. It's on Netflix. Highly recommend it. Then I watched Wizard of Oz to prepare for Wicked, and Wizard of Oz it's not a bad movie by any means. I watched it a while ago when I was little, I guess, and like there's still like it's still like a good movie, but there were some weird moments, I guess, but I still think that the movie is very well done for its time, and I think that like my favorite character has always been the Scarecrow, and I think it's still so funny when he just pulls out a Glock out of nowhere. It's, it's so random, but yeah, Wizard of Oz. It's a good movie. Uh, but then I saw Wicked, and Wicked was it was solid. There were some pretty. I liked some of the songs in there. I like the last song, Defying Gravity. But other than that, like Ariana Grande does not look healthy. I have said this multiple times, but she does not look okay. But she did a good job. Uh, Cynthia Revo, I think that's her name. She did a good job as well. Jeff Goldblum, he was in there for like 5 seconds as the wizard. It's not a spoiler because he's in the trailers. Um, but I was like he did good. Michelle Yeoh was I think she was kind of the standout performance in that movie. But it was solid. I gave it a 3.5 as well. Just like I don't know. There were some songs I like did not like at all, but yeah, it was just okay. Then I watched Dear Santa, And okay,
Bad movie.
it's not okay. It wasn't awful from like the beginning. I was like, oh, it's a solid, Christmas movie. I like Jack Black. Jack Black has some pretty good movies. And then the ending happened, and it was so awful, and it didn't make any sense. Like, the ending was really bad, which kind of made me lower my rating for this movie. And it's really disappointing because the guy that made this, he made, like, I'm pretty sure he made Dumb and Dumber. He also made Champions, which Charlie loves over here. Even though I'm not as high on it, but it could have been so much better if that ending was not in it. And also, like, to give context, like, I'm not gonna spoil here, but they like mentioned something like 5 minutes earlier, and then it happens, and it's just so stupid because how do they there's I don't know. It's stupid. And there's like some kind of plot twist at the end that's really dumb. Overall, it was okay. And then I watched Time Cut, and Time Cut, it literally a shot for shot remake, kind of. It kind of is a shot for shot remake of Totally Killer, which is a great movie. But other than that, it didn't bring much to the table. It had the kid from middle school, the worst years of my life, Rafe Kachdorian, and I really like that kid. Because middle school worst years of my life was another childhood movie I used to watch all the time, and it also has Madison Bailey from Outer Banks, and I thought the cast was good. It was just it's a PG-13 horror movie, which kind of brought it down a bit. Yeah, but overall it was okay. And then last night I watched Smile 2. That was amazing. Smile 2 is now my third favorite movie of the year, passing Red 1. Uh, Smile 2 is just so freaking good. Oh my goodness. Like, Naomi Scott was perfect as Sky Riley. She did a great job. Followed by, but even um I don't know if it's his son or like nephew, but Jack Nicholson's one of Jack Nicholson's, oh yeah, he's the son of Jack Nicholson. He was in the movie, and you can definitely tell because in the trailers he does smile, and it looks just like Jack Nicholson. And honestly, that movie is great. I'm very excited to see what they do for Smile 3 if they ever do make it. I don't know if it's confirmed or not. But that's all I've seen. I'm going to hand over the mic to Charlie to talk about his movies that he's seen.
So I'm gonna touch on Wicked real quick. I saw that the other night too, and it was okay. My main problem with it is Munchkinland. There were no Munchkins. It was, I mean, spoiler alert, but it's not really spoiler because it's not important. But I just noticed they're all normal sized, and that bothers me.
Yeah, there's no midgets. There's midgets in Emerald City.
Emerald City had more Munchkins than Munchkinland. It was not okay. But besides that, it was a decent film. I still love The Wizard of Oz so much better. The very beginning scene of Wicked was very nice, very nostalgic. But besides Wicked, I've seen a couple other things in theater recently. I saw Heretic or Heretic, however it's pronounced. I saw that in theater. It was probably one of my favorite A24 films. Gave it a 7 out of 10. It's decent. I mean, it's pretty good. Had some good twists, and it was good overall. And I saw Venom Last Dance. Now, the beginning, it was boring, in my opinion.
It's not boring, man.
The very beginning was very slow.
I had a great time watching it.
I don't know. And then it does get better at near the end, and then the very end happens, and they lost me. And it's not for the reason, if you've seen it, it's not for the reason you're thinking, but it is for another reason. And since it just came out, won't really spoil it yet. Or we'll try not to spoil it. But what happened should not have happened. There's no way. No door's doing that. That's all I'm gonna say. But anyway. And then yeah, Dear Santa. The beginning was kind of funny. There were some good jokes in there, and then it just kind of went downhill. It got worse as it went on. And then a movie I saw right near Thanksgiving in theater, which was a re-release for it's 20 I don't even remember. I think it was just a flashback cinema. Was The Fifth Element. Bruce Willis and um hold on, let me get to Mila Jovovich. Very good movie. I thought it was great. I gave it a 9 out of 10. I thought it was hilarious. The action was great. The comedy was great. The characters were all great. Chris Tucker's character was awesome, and Ian Holm from Alien was in it. He was great in that. So overall, I thought it was a great movie. That I would definitely watch that again, especially in theater. And speaking of movies in theater, one that we sadly cannot go to because it is not playing at the IMAX by us
Mm.
is Seven, which is releasing to some IMAXs January 3rd, and by us there are none around that are playing it, sadly, because that would have been great to see in theater. But that's a shame because Seven is such a great movie. If you've seen it, you know the plot twist and the ending and everything is just perfect. Um, but what can I say? It I'm disappointed, but it's all right. I was also gonna go see Interstellar in IMAX, but they sold out instantly, so that was a shame. But I think that's all my recent movies. Trying to think if there's any more I can tell you about. Mostly in theater. Trying to think about. Nothing. I read one I saw, but we talked about that already. So I don't know. Pretty good stuff. But are you ready to go ahead and get into some hot takes?
I just want to say one thing about Dear Santa, that my favorite joke in the movie was where uh the little boy gets frozen by Satan, and he's like, "If you touch me, I'll scream." And then he says, "Why would I touch you? I'm Satan, not a trusted relative."
Hmm.
That caught me so off guard.
Yeah, that's great.
But yeah, let's get into some hot takes here. Now, we're probably gonna get hated on a lot for these because I have some I have some questionable hot takes here, but it's also what I think of. But my first hot take is that Cars 2 is a great movie and it's better than Cars 1. And the reason why is because Finn McMissile and uh it's like it's literally a spy movie with Mater, and you go around the world with the World Grand Prix. It's awesome. I watched that more than Cars 1, I feel like. The it's such a good movie in my opinion. And I know what other people think of this movie, but I don't really care. It's great in my opinion. But there is no Cars 3. I know it may say there's a Cars 3 movie out there, but there's not. It's if there is, it's awful. I know there's a Cars 3 movie, but it was horrible. Uh they literally had no Mater in that movie, which Mater is like the best character. Uh but yeah, I think Cars 2 is just not miles better. I would probably it's miles better than Cars 3, but I think that Cars 2 is just a better movie than Cars 1. You want to go back and forth, or you want me to keep going?
Let's go back and forth. So my first hot take, it's a couple. This is where it's gonna get heated. Yeah. So Revenge of the Sith is not that great. It is not that good. It is okay at best. I mean, it's good, but like it's overrated. It's
You
not.
talking
There's
bad
so
about my
many.
favorite movie? Are
There's
you
so
serious?
many better movies out
There's
there.
nothing better than Revenge of the
You know
Sith.
what's better? The holiday special, I would probably consider better than Revenge of the
Okay,
Sith.
buddy.
The
Now
holiday special is so underrated.
that
All the cameos from all the old actors.
that's a hot
You
take.
have Arthur
Yes.
B. and it's just such a good. I think it's a great. I mean, I think Holiday Special is really good. I just don't think Revenge of the Sith is all that. I think at least the original three are better, and Rogue One, and
Can you admit that there are better lightsaber fights in Revenge of the Sith than there are in the original trilogy?
mm, interesting. I don't. I would have to think about it.
Because you got General Grievous and Obi Wan. You got also have um Anakin versus Obi Wan, Palpatine versus Yoda, and then there's very minimal fights in the original
I know, but
trilogy.
just the story and the characters in the original trilogy are
I'm
so
not
much better.
I'm not saying that this. I mean, I've always
I
loved
don't know,
Revenge of the Sith, but
but
the fight scenes are
and I'm
great.
gonna add to one more. This one's Marvel related. Howard the Duck is such an underrated movie. It is one of the best things Marvel has ever done. It's like the very first thing they ever did, and it is still one of the best. And not enough people love it. It's a great movie. Yes, there's some weird points in it, but it was the '80s. I give it a break. It was a good movie. So
All right, another hot take of mine. Now we're both going to agree on this that the Avatar movies are awful. They
yeah,
are so boring.
terrible,
Literally,
terrible, terrible.
it is. It's there's no story. All it is just a bunch of uh, humans going after aliens, and then one guy says, "Nah, I wanna betray the human race for this blue girl." Like, it's so stupid. And then even the second one is even worse. It's so boring. Like I barely could finish it. I finished the movie, but oh my goodness, it was bad. It was awful. It's one of my bottom three movies. I'm pretty sure. That's another hot take. It was it's terrible. Uh and there's another franchise on here that we both
That's what I was about to mention. Yep.
another franchise we got on here that we probably agree on. That's very bad.
Oh yeah. And the one he would be talking about is Lord of the Rings.
Overrated.
Yep. It's so boring. I mean, it's the same movie 3 times. I mean, watch Clerks 2. The
No,
way Randall portrays it is
can
perfect.
I quote it? There's only huh, there's only one return, and it ain't of the king, it's
It's
of
of
the
the
Jedi.
Jedi. Great. Clerks 2, great movie. Lord of the Rings, no. But this is one that some people may agree with. Depends on what you think. But according to Rotten Tomatoes, most people wouldn't agree. And that would be Pixels. Pixels is probably Adam Sandler's, not probably.
It
Pixels
is.
is Adam Sandler's best movie
It
of
is.
all time. And the fact that critics gave it 18% on Rotten Tomatoes is insane to me. I think it's great. It's hilarious. It's, I mean, a flashback and
The top critics give it
wow.
a 6%. Oh
I,
my goodness.
yeah, no, absolutely not. It's a great movie. I People will say that oh, what's the one called? I'm trying to remember. Happy Gilmore's his best. A lot of people love Happy Gilmore,
It
but
is great.
I just Pixels is so much better. I
Mm.
mean, Pixels is his number one movie of all time.
All right. Now, this one's gonna be Marvel related. I'm gonna do two. I'm gonna do a Marvel related movie. I'm gonna do a DC related movie. The Venom franchise is extremely underrated and is better than a couple of the MCU trilogies. It is better than the Ant-Man trilogy. It is better than the Thor trilogy, and that's
That's just
including
because of Dark World.
Dark World and Love and Thunder were awful.
Oh, I forgot about Love and Thunder. That's not a trilogy then.
Well, okay, okay.
Yeah, there's
Well, if we
four of
okay,
them.
yeah, okay. We'll this.
I honestly forgot about Love and
Still,
Thunder.
still, well, it's still better. Um, um, honestly, it's better than the Iron Man trilogy. I said it. Yeah, I mean, even though I think Iron Man 1 is great and Iron Man 3 is just as good, but Iron Man 2 is really boring. It kind of brings down the rating for the trilogy for me. I don't like Iron Man 2. And then my DC one is that Shazam is the best DC EU movie. Not the best DC movie, but the best DC EU movie because it's lighthearted, even though there are some dark scenes. And it's just I love the family dynamic that they have. You can see, like, especially when uh Billy Billy and Freddie, they have some of the best friendships in all of, like, movies, basically, in my opinion. I think they have such a good friendship, and seeing the family of just all adopted kids come together and realize they are an actual family. It's so sweet. I think that the villain of the movie is even cooler. The Doctor Savannah, yeah, and that movie is a Christmas movie. I don't care what anybody says. That is a Christmas movie. It starts out with Savannah as a little kid going to his grandparents' house on Christmas, and the movie literally for the whole rest of the movie it takes place on Christmas. It doesn't takes place during the Christmas season. That is a Christmas movie. I don't care what anyone else says. Um, but yeah, it's the best DCEU movie, and I think that that was the main problem of that DCEU franchise was that they did not go. They mainly went with some dark, serious tones like Superman, but I did not understand that. Superman should not have been dark and serious. He should have, because Superman is supposed to be a beacon of hope, and kindness and stuff like that. I don't know, but they turned him really dark, and I didn't like that. That's probably why I don't like Man of Steel that well. But yeah, that's my hot take for that. And then I got a couple more, another DC one. But yeah, here we go.
All right, I thought of a good one, and I know he's gonna disagree with me on this one because this one is a hot take. Morbius was a good movie. It's an 8 out of 10 at least. Morbius was decent. It does not deserve all the hate. Seeing that in theater, it was really good. I thought it was great. The action was great. The character was good. Jared Leto was better in that than when he was in Suicide Squad.
Okay, I can agree with that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, come on, his Joker
But
was
okay, but
terrible.
his Joker, actually, my opinion, his Joker isn't that bad.
It's
It's
not
a
as bad as people say, but still not great.
Yeah, but you like Suicide Squad, right?
I do like Suicide Squad, the first one. The second
The
one, I don't like the
I
second
I
one.
like both of them.
I like the first one a lot, but yeah, I would go Morbius is good. And then Madam Web wasn't as bad as people say. It wasn't that great, but it wasn't that
I
bad.
agree. The story was bland. The characters were bland, but
But it wasn't that bad. I
yeah,
mean,
but I mean, like City
yeah,
Sweeper,
see,
City
I knew you were
Sweeper,
gonna go
and
there.
Isabel Merced. She's in a couple movies I've seen. She was also in Middle School: The Worst Years of My Life. We're bringing up that twice
Yeah,
in this
I
episode.
know. Now,
That is also a great movie. That should be studied in colleges by how good of a film that is.
do you know what trilogy I think will beat the Venom trilogy once the third one comes out? Now you see me. I know it's not a it's not a superhero movie, but the first two Now You See Me's are both
Great.
well, the first one's a 10 out of 10. I think the second one is a 9 out of 10, but it can probably be a 10 out of 10. They're both great
I think you
movies.
have Now You See Me as a 9.
Oh, well,
Yeah,
it's
you got.
I not rewatching it recently, it's a 10 because it's a great movie. The twist and the twist in that is very unexpected if you haven't seen it. So definitely recommend because the third one's coming out. I think they are almost done with filming.
Hmm.
But that's great. And speaking of filming, a couple days ago, the I Know What You Did Last Summer, the new one started filming. So
That's gonna get.
it's exciting.
It's gonna be really good, or it's gonna be awful.
It's gonna be big or it's gonna flop. But
It's also
it's
being put in the same time frame as Superman, Jurassic World 4, and Fantastic Four. So they're gonna have to try to get.
oh yeah, all released in the same time.
That summer's gonna be
It's gonna be
awesome.
good. Yeah, it'll be a good movie summer. But I'm trying to think of any more. I'll let you say your few more. I gotta think of some more here.
All right, now Midsummer is awful because of the last 35 minutes. It's a solid movie from the it's a solid movie from like the first like 2 hours, I guess. And then it gets so uncomfortable at the last 35 minutes that it makes it a bad movie. I mean I never get uncomfortable watching a movie. Like I sit through I mean I sat through all the Terrifier movies, and even though people have said like the upside down scene is awful, the bedroom scene is bad. Like those kills didn't really I mean they were pretty bad, but they didn't like scar me for a period of time because I've seen a lot of those kind of horror movies. I watched Midsummer, and yeah, I had to sit through a lot of scenes in that last 35 minutes that were just yeah, I did not feel comfortable watching that, especially on the I was going somewhere. I can't remember where I was going. It was in the car though. Um then also my DC one, Joker 2019, it's overrated. People keep saying it's great. I think it's overrated. Like there's so many better adaptations of Joker. I think that Heath Ledger's obviously the greatest Joker of all time. There's also I haven't seen any of the Mark Hamill ones, but I think that Barry Keoghan and he's gonna be playing Joker in the Batman's series. I think he'd be good. I think he'd be pretty good. You know. Uh, who else was? Oh yeah, Jack Nicholson getting brought up again. He was good. He was good Joker. Who else was Joker? Jared Leto. You know, he wasn't bad. He wasn't as bad as people say. He's weird, but he's not as bad as people say. Who else was Joker? Is that it? That might be it. Oh, well, Joaquin Phoenix, obviously because he's in this movie, but you know, he's okay. And also my final one that I can actually really think of is about a Martin Scorsese movie, and it's not Wolf of Wall Street because if you guys were thinking that, Shutter Island is not a good movie. It's really boring. I can't sit through that. Like it was interesting with the kind of like what the story it was trying to tell, but it was just so boring. I couldn't sit through it. Leonardo DiCaprio tried his hardest to make it a good movie, but I think it's boring. I'd rather sit and watch Turbo, which is also a great movie. Turbo is I watch that every Indy 500, or I just watch it for a comfort movie. It's a great movie. Turbo, but Shutter Island, no. You got any hot takes you
Oh,
got there?
I got a few more. So, one that most audience I feel like would agree with, even though Rotten Tomatoes says that they wouldn't. Most, I mean, even the critics gave it a 93%.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about now.
Megan, it's a terrible. It is so bad. It's it wants to be Chucky it wants to be Child's Play so bad, but it's just terrible. It's horrible. It's like Chucky mixed with AI, but it's just not good. It's horrible. There's not really any good kills, or it's boring. It's awful. I think it's terrible.
It's I remember I paid money to see that
Yeah,
movie.
I know. The only good thing was the person in the theater that was actually making noise and laughing, which was funny because the laugh was funny, and I
The
would
only
usually never say that.
the only good part of the movie was when Megan pushed the little kid in front of the car.
That was funny.
That was funny.
That was funny. Now, this is another horror movie that people love, and I don't understand because I don't think it's good. The Babadook.
Isn't that kid really annoying?
Yeah, no, the whole movie is it's so predictable and so boring. That's just not even fun to watch, and people love it. And the fact that there's so much hype behind it and people love watching it every year is crazy to me. Trying to think of any more here. Let's see. There's quite a few that I've rated. Oh, yeah, I got one. The animated Spider-Man movies.
Oh
They should
no,
have made them live action.
no,
Miles Miles is such a good character and they could have done him so well live action, but the animated Spider-Man movies are so
they're
terrible.
not, dude.
They're so
They're
bad.
not.
Dude,
They're not.
they're all over the place. They're not really enjoyable to me. They could have made them live action done. So have Jake Johnson actually play a Spider-Man or a Peter. That would have been great because Jake Johnson is one of the best actors of all time. But before we continue with more, that's just my comment on that. We have a few hot takes that we've heard that I've written down from our couple of our buddies. Star Wars Episode 9 wasn't that bad, which
I disagree. It
yeah,
was that bad.
that would be the Rise of Skywalker, correct? Yeah. It okay. I would agree with him for the scene where all the ships fly in. That scene was tough. That was a cool scene. They could have done the rest of the movie much better, but the scene where the ships fly in, that was very cool. This one is I know who sent this one. Jenna Ortega is not good looking,
Oh
which
yeah,
I would have to disagree with Israel.
I'm
I mean,
disagreeing.
yeah, I mean she's not ugly or anything, so this one we know who it was. Lego Batman better than Lego Movie.
Mm.
Disagree.
Nope, Lego movie's better. Even though I think Lego Batman movie is great, it's still Lego movie. I still remember going to the theater and watching that. And I remember when uh Han Solo, Lando, and Chewbacca all came out of nowhere, and I feel like that's the first time I actually jumped from my seat. That was the first cameo I ever witnessed, and that was just awesome.
Yep. I agree. The Lego movie is so much better. I remember seeing that in the theater. The double decker couch.
Hmm.
People still try to build that to this day. I mean, it never dies. It's a great movie.
The second one is terrible though.
Yeah, the second one is bad. Lego Batman's definitely better than the second one. But this one, I'm gonna skip down and say that one for last. This one is The Rock is a top 5 actor of all time.
Who said that?
That would have been Lucas.
Luke.
I know. Which, okay, don't get me wrong, The Rock, I think he is a really good actor.
He's a good
He's gotten
actor.
really good at acting. Jumanji and in the Fast and Furious series,
Red Notice.
Red Note. Oh, I don't like that one. Red One. He was good in that. But I don't. He's not top 5. Nowhere near top 5. But he's great.
I wouldn't say he's top five, but he has some good
Now
movies.
top 5 in movies with Kevin Hart. Yeah, I'd probably be. I mean, that duo is crazy.
Now we have another uh hot take here. Probably didn't write this down, but this is one we know from our buddy Jackson. He thinks that he thinks that basically all the movies before the year 2000 like
Yeah.
aren't good. But maybe not aren't good, but he thinks that like the more recent movies are better. Like he said that the 2018 Grinch was better than the Jim Carrey one and the 1960s like short, which is I hate that. I hate the Grinch from 2018. Benedict Cumberbatch should not have been the Grinch. I think that they should have just kept it with the 60s and the Jim Carrey one because Jim Carrey one It's pretty good. It is aged perfectly though. Like I remember when people hated that movie. Like even my mom hated that movie. When it for she didn't hate it, but she thought it was okay. And then once like it aged so good, and now people watch it every Christmas. Um, but that's kind of a crazy take. Yeah, we'll have him on the podcast sometime. But we'll see if we can talk about that because he thinks that he's got some crazy opinions. Um, now, I have another hot take here, which it's like I don't know if it's like a huge hot take, but I think that the Batman franchise with so far of the Robert Pattinson Batman movie and the Penguin is already better than the Dark Knight trilogy. Yeah, I know that that's crazy, but Matt Reeves has had back to back 5 out of 5 movie back to back 5 out of 5 projects with and I haven't even finished Penguin yet, and it's a 5 out of 5. It's so good. Oh my goodness! I think that once the Batman Part 2 comes out, I think it will solidify itself as the greatest Batman like franchise we've ever seen. It's better. It it's better than the Tim Burton movies, even though I really like the Tim Burton movies. I remember watching those with my uncle and aunt. Uh, even the one with Val Kilmer and George Clooney, which those were uh they were weird. And then there was also I mean the Batman Begins. I remember not liking it the first time. It's better on the rewatch because but I think that Ra's al Ghul is a good villain, but I think he was much better in the Arrow show, which also Arrow is a great show, but seasons 6 and 7, but seasons 1 to 5 very good. But so far uh Matt Reeves' Batman franchise is so good, and I cannot wait for what we get to see in the future.
See, I think if you like the Ra's al Ghul, you need to watch Gotham because he's such a good character in Gotham. Gotham is such a good show. I'm gonna watch Penguin soon, but I'm telling you right now, there's no way it beats Gotham.
Are you sure? I mean, like,
Gotham is so good. It's hated on somewhat. Some people love it, some people hate it. It is such a good show. Great characters, great cast. Overall, it's great. I would rewatch Gotham over the Batman movies most likely because Gotham is very good. Now, I will say the very last hot take that our buddies gave us, which I agree with to an extent. It depends on which ones, but that the Scream movies are highly overrated. If
what?
it was Scream 5, I would probably agree. Scream 5 is overrated.
It is. I love Scream 5
It's good. I mean, they're all good, but it's not that good.
because Huey's in it. I didn't even realize that.
Yeah. See, I don't.
I
I
gotta love Huey, and I think that actually we gotta do like the
yeah.
we're gonna do an episode where we talk about horror movies, and I'm gonna do my Ghostface ranking.
Good. Ooh, yeah. I mean, I can tell you mine right now would be Stu.
Stu's number one. Stu's
Stu's number one, followed by Billy. I mean, those two, the OGs, they're the best. My third would probably be Roman. Roman was such a he was a great one in my opinion.
Yeah, Roman was underrated.
Yeah.
I think people just don't say he's good because they don't like Scream 3.
Yeah. Well,
It's
I
good.
mean, which one's the one with Jane Silent Bob? Is that the fourth one?
That's the third one.
Third one? That is the third one? Okay, well, I agree with people. I don't like it that much. I mean, it's good, but it's not the best. There's many better. I would rather watch the first and second one. And I will say 6 is the second best Scream movie. 1 and then 6
I
and then
agree.
probably
I
2.
agree.
Yeah. 6 was so good, and I don't know why some people don't like it at all. The only thing I disagree with, which if you haven't seen it, then click off now because I'm gonna talk about it. The dude, what is his name? Chad? He is not surviving that.
Yeah, how was
The
it?
way
Okay,
they stabbed him, he
okay,
was not
I agree.
surviving
I
that.
agree with that. Because
There's no way.
he got stabbed multiple times in Scream 5 from I don't remember who it was. It was probably Amber.
Yeah.
But how did you survive getting stabbed about like 35 different times? It was like every single every single half second. How did you survive
Right
that?
into the gut, and I mean, they were bound to hit organs. I mean, come on, the way that they were doing it,
There's
there's no way he would have lived.
I think that they were just trying to continue the core four.
which they can't do
They
now.
can't do
So
now.
they
I
should have
mean,
just killed them
I
off
I
at that point.
I
So
think that they're gonna. At some point they're gonna bring them back. They're gonna be like, "We're sorry for letting you go because you expressed your feelings on."
you really think it's they
They,
may try to get them back, but I don't know if they would actually come back. They'd
they,
have to get,
th-
offer them a
th-
lot of money.
yeah.
They'd have to give them a lot of money.
I mean, like, I still think that Melissa Barrera, Jenna Ortega, they were great in those roles as the Carpenter sisters.
Yeah. So speaking of Jenna Ortega earlier, I think she's a good actor. I think she's definitely I wouldn't say she's necessarily still up and coming, but she's definitely still growing her career.
Yeah,
Um,
she's great in Wednesday.
yeah.
What else was she in?
She was in what's it called?
Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice, yeah,
Yeah,
Beetlejuice 2, and she was pretty good in that. I didn't like her story that much.
I liked it.
I just I thought there was better ones. I mean, it was okay. It was just kind of weird, but you know, she's a good actor. She's up and coming ish still, but I definitely think she was really good in the Scream movies. Definitely a survivor type. So I'm out of hot takes. I don't know about you, but
Let's talk about some recent movie news we got. So we have some Harry Potter casting rumors, which I do not like any of them. Uh, I don't know how to pronounce his name, but Papa Esidu. I don't know who he is, but he's supposed to play Snape. I don't like that at all. It's because I'm so used to Snape being what's his name? I can't put the face to the name. Uh, but I don't like that casting at all. Um, the guy who plays Roy in Ted Lasso is supposed to play Hagrid, which is another awful decision because you can't tell me this is Hagrid.
mm,
That looks
nothing like them.
nothing like Hagrid, unless they pull a they just
Tropic Thunder, Robert Downey Jr. completely change them.
exactly yeah.
Yeah.
I was just about to mention that like if they're gonna do that, they're gonna have to do a lot, or they're gonna do like a Colin Farrell with the Penguin. And then Mark Strong as Dumbledore, which makes no sense to me because he's not an old guy like
And
Dumbledore
he's
is.
bald, and
Yeah,
Dumbledore got a lot of hair.
Dumbledore has a lot of hair. Uh but I don't like those castings at all. Uh if we end up getting Tom Holland as Harry Potter followed by Chris Pratt, you should spill your
Yeah, maybe.
oh my goodness. We get Tom Holland as Harry Potter, Timothy Chalamet or Chris Pratt as Ron Weasley, and then Samuel L. Jackson as Hermione. That's just gonna be dumb. I know that won't happen, but just saying those are kind of the castings that I'm gonna expect because Hollywood loves to be Hollywood, and also there should not be a Harry Potter show. Those movies basically just came out. I don't think I think it is way too early to to make this a show because these all these actors from the previous Harry Potter movies, most of them are still most of them are, I mean I'm guessing almost all of them are still alive besides a couple of them, but
Besides
like
Hagrid and Dumbledore, those are the two that aren't alive.
Snape,
Yeah, well, yeah, and Snape and McGonagall now.
McGonagall, that literally tore me when McGonagall died in real life.
That wasn't too long ago either.
Yeah, but I don't think that they should. I also saw that there's supposed to be 1 hour episodes per, and even though it's only gonna be 7 episodes in the first season or 8 episodes, I don't know. They're gonna be 1 hour each. Yeah. What are your thoughts on like the casting so far?
Yeah, I don't like it. I think they need to stop where they're at, hire someone new to do the casting because none of them make sense at all.
They
I can't
really should
see
just make it no unknown actors for the kids and maybe
exactly.
some known actors for the
Give
adults.
some small actors a chance to become up and coming. Yes, they may not be great at acting, but find ones that are decent at acting and that you think could play off the characters good and do it. Because I mean, um, Harry Potter, Daniel Radcliffe, he wasn't that big when he started in Harry Potter, so it definitely gave him a bigger name for sure. But I will say two shows off topic ish. Two shows that I'm excited for is the Welcome to Derry show based on Stephen
Yeah,
King's
very excited.
It and the Walking Dead show that is going to follow the comic book accuracy, which means we would have no Daryl, but it would just be such a cool story to see, even though we won't have any of the returning characters. I think they should have tried to get the same actors to play the same characters in that show, just have it where it's the comic accurate version, because I think that'd be very cool.
Shane will probably be in a lot more season.
Yeah, exactly. Well, he being pretty much, I mean, at
Almost,
least half, if not more of it. I haven't read the
yeah.
comics yet, sadly. I eventually want
They're
to.
too much. They're
Yeah.
too expensive.
But speaking of new movie news, about 2 hours ago from when we're recording this, the first little teaser of 28 Years Later, the third installment of the 28 Days Later trilogy, it released. It's very small. You pretty much only see an island in the little teaser, but that's about it. But they also released the poster, and they have confirmed that Cillian Murphy is coming back to play Jim in 28 Years Later. So that's going to be exciting to see that
I
again.
thought you hated that movie.
I don't like it that much. But 28, honestly, I like 28 Weeks Later better. And I know that it's like Killer Clowns from Outer Space. People either love it or they hate it. I don't like that movie either. But 28 Days Later, people love, and I gave it like a 4 out of 10. I'm willing to give it a rewatch before the new one comes out, which it's said to release June 20th of this upcoming summer. So
I mean,
another summer movie.
nothing really. Like, I mean,
I'm gonna see it for sure, but
not
um
really interested.
yeah, a lot of people aren't. I mean, 28, I think 28 Weeks Later is the one with Hawkeye in it, which I think is very, very underrated, but still not great. People like it less than the first one, I believe, but I still think it's better than the first one. Um, but I think that's cool. And then we have the Lilo and Stitch live action that had some teasers drop recently. We got to see or not Lilo, Stitch live action for quite a bit in that new teaser, and I think it looks cool. Definitely we'll see that in theater. Other than that, besides Seven coming theater, I can't think of any other new
Oh, I have
recent news.
I have
All
some
right.
more news. All right, just to go on more hot takes. Actually, we're gonna just give me one more. Lilo and Stitch is overrated. I don't like it. I've never have. I've tried giving it chances multiple times, and it's just not that good. But we have so fan casts for Hercules. Um, right now they're saying that Paul Mescal should be Hercules and Ariana Grande should be Megara or whatever. I don't know how to say her name because I haven't seen that movie in a while. In the Hercules live action movie. What are your thoughts on that?
Haven't seen the animated one. Not gonna lie, so I
Oh,
can't really comment on it. I may see it if it looks any good. What?
that's what they look like in them.
Yeah.
And then,
Oh, Ariana Grande's in it.
well, it's not confirmed. It's what they're
Yeah,
wanting.
yeah. Um, I don't know. I may see it, but I'm not the biggest Ariana Grande fan. The only thing I used to watch with her in it was Sam and Cat back in the day, and that was only because Cat was in it or not, Sam was in
Victorious.
it from iCarly. But I got one more hot take that I just thought of. Fight Club, it's not that great. People love it. It's okay. I mean, it's like a 5 out of 10. There's just so many better movies out there than Fight Club. It's good. I need to give it a rewatch. It's been a couple years since I've seen it, but I remember not liking it that much because it wasn't as good as other stuff I've seen. It was all right. And also speaking of zombie movies, Shaun of the Dead. You liked it more than I did. I gave it a 5 out of 10.
It's it's solid. There were some. It
It's
was
too
there were some
creepy.
really boring parts, but
And I thought of one more movie that I've seen recently, and it reminds me of This Is the End. And I gave it a 6 out of 10 because it is definitely a low budget movie,
oh, Black
and it
Friday.
just Black Friday. Yep, it was so weird, but it wasn't horrible. It was good to kind of have on the background and watch some. It intrigued me at some point. I started it and I couldn't stop it, so that's a good sign when I start it and I can't stop it because I'm curious on what happens next. That's a good sign, and I'm glad I did finish it because it got really strange. But it's like Cooties almost, but instead of at a
Oh yeah,
school,
that was a little weird.
Cooties is weird, but it's not horrible. I mean, it's
Hmm.
there's better things, but it's not that bad. It's just funny. But um, Rainn Wilson definitely carries that movie. So I think that's it for me. I don't know about you,
Yeah,
but
I still got some more.
you got more. All right.
All right, so we got some rumors about Edge of Tomorrow 2, and that's a great Tom Cruise movie with Emily Blunt. It's basically Groundhog's Day if you haven't seen it, but it's an action. Action movie. It's so good. Um, the new Planet of the Apes movie releasing in 2027 confirmed. Um, what else? Buck from Ice Age will be coming back in Ice Age 6. Scrubs is getting a revival. Uh, as mostly people our age will know Scrubs because of the Turk dance that's in Fortnite.
No,
The dance moves, yeah. But yeah, I mean, I knew Scrubs before
yeah.
Fortnite. Um, Kingsman 3 with Taron Egerton still could happen. It's not totally off the table. And right now the rumor is that the Superman trailer is going to be coming out December 16th. I'm just hoping we get Starman by David Bowie playing in the trailer or the movie. I mean, I would be happy for both because that song's great and it really fits what James Gunn is trying to do with the Superman movie. Also, Shaggy is canon to the DC universe. Did you see this?
I did not.
Yeah, Shaggy
Huh.
got a cameo in the technically the first project of the new DC Universe Creature Commandos. I have not watched this yet because I forgot it even came out yet. But I'll give it a chance at some point. It's animated, which I don't understand why. I would prefer if they just kept it with the live action route, but uh also uh a new Pirates of the Caribbean movie script is in development and it might include Johnny Depp. Uh, I think that's the only way it makes money. Don't you?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I I haven't even heard about this, honestly. This is the first time I'm hearing about this at all. I didn't know there was a new. Oh, Pirates. Okay, you did tell me about that one. I was still thinking about. I'm still locked in on the new DC show. I was still thinking about that because I did not know there was new DC stuff coming out. I thought they were kind of just quieted down some. I still haven't seen Aquaman 2 yet.
That's not good. It's
Yeah,
not
I
good.
heard. And Amber Heard is still in it quite a bit, isn't she? That's what I heard.
Kinda. She's
Which
kinda
is
in it.
surprising because that was right during and after the whole Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial, which was great to watch. I enjoyed that more than I think Aquaman. I mean,
You didn't like Aquaman?
I liked it, but the Amber Heard trial was just funny. But I did like the first Aquaman; it was good. But I will say the last thing I can think of is Squid Game season 2 has been releasing a lot of teasers and stuff as that comes out in less than a few weeks. I mean, comes out the day after Christmas, so I know what I'll be doing the rest of break. Well,
Hmm.
I mean, one day it'll take me to watch that. But I'm excited. I love the first Squid Game season. I think it's great. And I see how other people agree because it's really good. Yes, it's not in English, and yes, the dubbed over looks goofy, but it's such a good story.
So does Godzilla minus one.
Yeah,
The dubbed version
well,
looks really weird.
me, me, Blake, and Matthew saw that, and we saw that, and it was still in Korean. So, or no, not Korean, Japanese. So we didn't have to worry about the dubbed over version.
Mhm.
But I another great movie though. Godzilla minus one, great movie. I think that's one of the best Godzilla movies released ever. But yeah.
We also got confirmation that Fallout season 2 is being filmed. I'm very excited for that because Fallout season 1 was pretty good. It also had the best character, the guy with the chickens. You remember that?
Oh yes, yes. Um, that's the is that the dude that's in what's his name? Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
I don't know who his actor was, but I
Yeah.
remember it was a very funny scene with a guy and a chicken. Um, Also, Wednesday season 2 is releasing 2025. Netflix getting some really good shows in before people decide to get off because Outer Banks is probably finishing 2025. Stranger Things is finishing 2025. Cobra Kai. I don't think Wednesday will finish in 2025, but they're getting a lot of good shows that year. Breaking Bad is getting removed off of Netflix
I
2025.
finished it, and I will say I liked it, but I don't think I'd give it a rewatch unless I was super bored. But there's too much other stuff to watch to rewatch it.
Did you see the stuff that Shamik Moore said about Haley Steinfeld?
Uh,
So Haley Steinfeld got engaged to quarterback Josh Allen, who's on my fantasy team. Thank you, Josh Allen. Uh, um, but they got engaged, and then Shamik Moore said something like, "You meet new people along the way." Hold on, I can't remember what exactly Shamik Moore said. I'm gonna try to find that tweet he said, but it was really funny. It was like 5 minutes after Haley Steinfeld reported that she is now getting engaged with Josh Allen. I can't find it. Oh yeah. Oh no, I can't find it. But basically he was saying something about how like he wasn't like congratulating her. He was like, "You meet new people along the way. You gotta keep living, man," or something like that. I just quoted Dazed and Confused there. Uh, but uh, but yeah, it was pretty funny because it's pretty obvious that Shamik Moore uh has a crush on Haley Steinfeld, especially in the interviews for Spider Verse. What else happened? What else has been happening?
Well, we
That
can always include it in the next one.
Yeah, I think that's about it.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I've seen.
All right.
All right, we're gonna end that there. Thank you for listening. We will let's drop our letterbox again. Just in case you guys didn't see it last time. Our letterbox for me is Tyler M _08, and and Charlie's is Charlie Snarf 1. So if you want to go check out our ratings there and our full movie rankings on the year, we will release our final movie rankings. I am Tyler Miller.
And I'm Charlie Snarf, and this has been the second episode of the Cinema Tape Podcast. Thanks for joining us. Have a good one.